Yeah, then we went back there this morning to the trade show and just caught up with some people that weren't able to yesterday because we got in there yesterday quite late. And there was people off doing seminars, so there wasn't all the stands weren't being manned, but I managed to speak to everyone that we needed to, and it was good for the other boys that were here. We're able to speak to who they wanted to speak to, so no, it's been really good. It's we've got a lot out of it.
So what we are at is the ASTMA Sports Turf Conference. So we'll have, there's, I guess, two different parts of it. There's an education and education part. So if you're a superintendent at a golf course or a GM at a golf course, there's a fair few GMs up here as well. You might fly up here and do a lot of the education. They have a golf day on the Monday, which Jordan Sherritt won from South Australia, back-to-back winner.
Geordie.
So it's a scratch competition, and they get a red jacket and, the bragging rights for another 12 months. Plus, they also get to fly to the US to play in their international tournament. So Geordie's just come back from that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he won that, did he? No, I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
But it's a scratch tournament, so you're playing against some, the best of the best kind of thing in turf, obviously.
Yeah, and in that world, like scratch is not always like scratch
There'd
is
be pluses,
good. There'd be pluses
in the turf world.
Yeah, there would be, absolutely.
And if you're playing I guess it's the best on the day.
Yeah.
Considering they don't play golf all the time, but Geordie's really handy with a golf with a golf club. We've won an Ambrose event with him on our team, but we also won an Ambrose event with me on the team. So
right.
Who knows really where it kind of came from, but. So they do that, and then there's a trade expo where there's a bunch of people from fertilizer and other manufacturers. So there's fertilizer and chem, machinery, and then associated kind of.
So the one that I was speaking to, Rowan, who's a super at Grange, he did one yesterday about polar control. Yeah. So how polar is starting to build resistance to even more herbicides now. So your choice is being now limited, and when it becomes limited, it will eventually build a resistance to the chemical that you're using for polar. So that was interesting, but it was also quite concerning that we could potentially live in a world for a short period of time where polar is resistant to everything.
As in in a short amount of time, or for a short amount of time?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Did you say we might be living in a world in a short amount of time, or?
Well, potentially. Yeah.
And so, until maybe they discover another chemical.
Yeah.
And then what? Over 1 million years, polar mutates to become unkillable.
Yep, essentially.
Yeah, and there's just polar golf courses everywhere.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is in the States with the climates that can support it, but like in Australia, you can't have a polar green. No. Absolutely not. Or maybe in Victoria, but still in Victoria, it still gets really hot in the summer.
Yeah, Tassie.
Tassie, maybe.
Yeah.
Obviously in a domestic setting, if you're not treating polar every single year because it's popping up in your lawn, you might get away with an application here or there of a targeted, like a selective herbicide to treat polar or wintergrass. But on a golf course, if it's in your greens and you're treating annually, 6 monthly, whatever your structure is, that's when we talk about resistance. It will eventually build resistance.
Is it building resistance to pre-emergent as well, or mainly post-emergent? Because you said that you've done obviously the 3 applications of. Yeah.
So but in a golf course setting, especially on your greens and your bowling greens, you're not necessarily applying pre-emergent as is. So you wouldn't be able to eradicate it that way.
Yep.
Unless there's a future chemical that enables you to use pre-emergent qualities on a surface like that, but yeah, obviously in a fairway, in a fairway or an open space that isn't a golf green or a bowling green, it'd be a lot easier to control. There are other avenues, but obviously when you're in a putting green, and we've spoken about this before, you don't want to change playability and you don't want to take greens out of your course, because in a top tier golf course, you're paying $5,000+ a year to play golf. You don't want to play an 18-hole golf course where only 12 are available.
We had a trip, so one of these trips in Perth years ago, and they have like a bus trip for the SA guys that we went out to. I can't remember the exact name of the course. I want to say Lake Karrinyup, but I don't know if that's in WA. The super there was called Fraser Brown, I'm pretty sure, and they were cutting entire greens off and replanting them.
Yep.
Because the poet, maybe it wasn't his course. It might have been. I think it was another guy's course. We were at his course that day as well, and they were just like, "We're doing a green a year or 2 greens a year, and we're just removing the entire green and redoing it because the poa was kind of 70% of the green, and it was just ridiculous.
And because it grows so quick, like you cut your greens at 6
Poa's
o'clock in the
winter
morning.
grass for anyone. Tuning in residentially.
We've been around turf people, so we're picking up the lingo.
Yeah, we're actually called Turf Hub now.
Yeah.
And when we fly back, we'll be Lawnhub again.
Yeah. But what happens is you cut your greens at, say, 6 o'clock in the morning and roll them by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, they've grown and they've come up fluffy again.
Yeah.
And you don't get that consistency. And obviously, if it's... When
you put a PGR on winter grass and hope
so you can suppress it, obviously, but it's only seed head suppression. It doesn't 100% stop the growth. And again, it just builds resistance and it does what it wants to do. It's just, it's really quite scary.
So, people that you bumped into today that our audience might know, Lenny Lawler from the Australian Lawn Fanatics.
Yeah, he was good to catch up with.
Wally or Will Pearce from ICL, also from the Lawn Fanatics.
He loves it.
I saw him yesterday. I was hoping to see him today. Just for context, I drank all of the alcohols last night.
All categories. There was no discrimination. Wine, rum, white spirits, fucking
espresso martinis, gin,
that
scotch on the rocks.
Yes, double scotches on the rocks.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. There was 2 shots in there.
That bloody stuff you brought out of Red Bull.
Oh, Control and Red Bull. Yeah, we really did it.
Some craft beer that didn't taste like orange peel. That was quite nice. Jones's Juice or whatever it was.
Oh, that's right. That was at the brewery we went to, which I can't remember the name of. I'm going to find it because it might be interesting for people that live in Brisbane that haven't been there.
It's actually really good. Yeah.
That beer was pretty tasty. It was a 4.7% beer, which is quite light for me, but and I wasn't expecting it to taste that good.
Yeah, it wasn't offensive at all.
But this is, I guess, for the beer people tuning in. I saw Tyson just posted a comment. We went to the Squire pub, so
that's right.
What's it called? It's not the Curious Squire, the other one that's in Brisbane, but it's a James Squire pub, and I had their Hop Thief 10, which I think that's the same Hop Thief that existed 5 years ago when I was drinking James Squires, and it was fucking horrible. I didn't drink it. I left it. I sipped it. It tasted like it had been made in a plastic tank, and it had absorbed all the plastic. And I went and bought another drink. It was that shit. So, which is rare for me.
Yeah, it is.
Not to drink it. We went to Felons Brewing Co.
That's right.
Yeah, it was wicked. We had pizzas and
the steak was beautiful.
Oysters.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Jonesy's Gawler Palate is just fucking...
Yeah, the oysters. For oysters, because obviously in South Australia, we have best seafood in the world. We're quite spoilt. But they were very nice oysters, I must admit. They were very nice.
Tyson... I've got a few comments here. Bearded Sith from YouTube, on YouTube. Yo, happy 40th birthday, Jonesy.
Cheers,
I need
mate.
some caps, Clinty. You in Briz to Kira? Oh, are we in Briz? I think, we're in Brisbane. Kira's not. So our media team are back home running this from... It's quite weird, actually. It feels odd not having an audience.
I'm not going to lie, it was a bit awkward having the maid that came in to change the towels.
We've got a camera set up. What are you boys up to?
Yeah.
It's like... Nothing.
Yeah.
We're not filming it either.
Yeah.
Tyson said, "What we eat today, boys." So you can. What have you eaten today?
Oh, I had 2 plates at breakfast. I had about maybe 8 hash browns, some eggs, some bacon. I had 3 pancakes with some whipped cream, some jam. I had some fruit. I had some eggs, hollandaise sauce. Then at lunch, I had a hamburger with some chips and a Pepsi.
Was the breakfast here good?
It was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It was fresh too. It hadn't been sitting there for ages either.
I'd got up and had a shower and tried to start the day. Got dressed, went downstairs with all of these guys to go to the trade show one more time, and stood outside and went, I can't physically go inside buildings at the moment. So I'm just going to not do that. So I went for a really big walk. And ended up at Starbucks of all the places in the world, and had a ham and cheese croissant and a double shot piccolo, and just sat outside shaking and ate that and thought that should be good. I'm all right. I think I feel better, and got back to here. And then I think I came up here just to go to the toilet, and I was like, then I'll be all right. And then I lied down and slept for 2 hours or 2.5 hours. And I was going to go back down again, didn't go down. And so I didn't do anything productive. That's not true. I did 2 very productive things today on the phone, which are going to if that's all I get done today, I did more than these guys. But it was a bit of a shame. So I'll talk to you about that off camera. But it was a bit of a shame not to get down there, because the reason you come to these things is for the networking. And obviously, because I've been coming to them for so long, I know a lot of people. So there's a lot of people I haven't seen. I got to catch up with a lot yesterday. I'm not going to cry too much about it. I think it was important. So this is Jonesy's first trip doing something like this, and it's...
it was really good. Like I said before, it's good to put names to faces to names. I've secured some stock for the rest of the season, so
visit the room service lady telling her co-workers about the OnlyFans boys.
Oh, I've got my Lawnhub jacket on too. Oh yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah,
I should take my sunglasses off my hat. So yeah, I think sometimes face to face wins the race.
Yeah,
and from a customer standpoint, we would always try to have face-to-face meetings with people, and that gets deals over the line in a lot of cases. One thing that people in business don't do enough, in my mind, is manage their relationships up the chain, so to a supplier. So obviously a lot of times we'll manage our customer relationships, but we don't necessarily manage our supplier relationships. So last night we went out for dinner with a supplier, and I was like, I'll pay, because I don't want it always to be a case that the supplier pays for dinner, because then it just becomes a bit one-sided. And I get it, we spend money and whatever, but the relationship can grow beyond that. And I think for you to go meet people today, they're like, oh, okay, I've never met him, but wow, maybe there's 4 of them here, so maybe the business is a bit more substantial, or you get a bit of because they get stuck in their booth, so they have to stand there and talk to you, rather than trying to get off the phone because their kids come into the room or they've got to go out to another meeting. So you get to have a longer conversation, build rapport. I think humans are meant to spend time with humans. I don't think that this world of Zoom and telephones is the best way.
No, and, not for everyone. Like some of the suppliers that I met yesterday, they've been in the industry for 25, 30 years. So their whole business was built on face-to-face. But and it was interesting because I've never been picked out of the crowd like I did yesterday. Like I'm having conversations with people, and I won't mention who it was, but I could see him, and he just did a full U-turn.
Just come over and talk to you.
Come over and talk. So, and it happened today twice actually as well. So it's good, like we're obviously in the like front of people's faces a lot more than probably what we think. 2 more people today said, "Oh, it's getting rid of railways."
Yeah, that was really funny actually.
Like it's just like it's not what I thought was going to be the most talked about thing coming up here.
Yeah. I found that interesting yesterday as well. Like people who I don't know talking about my business, and even interestingly, this morning I had a conversation with someone, and they told me about someone that they had spoken to that thought I was a fuckhead. And I was like interested to understand more about that, because people that don't know me, that like he kind of knows me, but doesn't really know me. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like that's not only something that he believes, but also something that he's happily telling people about. So, and there's more than one, I'm sure. But it's the turf and the irrigation industry is quite a small industry. I mean, it's a big market, but it's a small industry. And if you take representations from each golf course and oval across the country, which is pretty much what this is, and schools, obviously there's guys here. I won't say who is here because they might not meant to be here or whatever, or they've told their employer that whatever, but there's schools here from South Australia, there's golf courses here from South Australia, there's sports turf professionals here, and everyone knows each other and everyone knows each other's business, and so you'll get into a room like that and the rumour mills just start swirling. I'll regularly drop 2 or 3 bullshit rumours in to the room
and see
where it goes. So,
2 or 3, I think there's a few.
So I'll and then so I had my ham and cheese croissant, came back here and slept, and then I woke up and I was like, fuck, I need to eat. So I went down to there's a sushi place down there and quickly smashed some aburi salmon. So I'm starting to feel alive. I'm very much torn between, I'm like, oh, we could probably have a couple of drinks and I might feel a bit better. And I was like, you know what? I would definitely not drink alcohol today. and I've got no problems with that. So we'll see. We'll be at we got an event on tonight at 6, which is a drinks-based event.
Yeah,
I think it's only a drinks-based event.
Well, it's funny because when we're obviously it's open to everyone at the event, and when we're downstairs, see you tonight. Yeah, I'm not going for long. It's a big one. About 8 out of 10 people were like, yeah, well, we'll go for a little bit, but I don't think I'll be drinking. So I think everyone's sort of feeling there.
Last night might have been the big night.
Yeah.
Well, there was a big dinner on where a lot of people went. So if they had half the amount of alcohol I did yesterday, then they're probably not feeling great today. So, Brenton Ellis, Skittle bombs are so good. Yes, well, that's what you were having yesterday.
Yeah. Well, it's not what I had. That's what you had.
Oh, we were getting a bit out of control.
Yeah.
Well, what did you have with yours? Lemonade?
Lemonade, yeah. I can't do Red Bull. No good.
Yeah.
But it was, for someone that hasn't drank for 6 months, I thought
you handled yourself pretty well. You looked like you were getting really pissy at the start. And I was like, fuck, this isn't going to last.
Yeah, but then we had something to eat, and it sort of just fizzled.
Jamie Badams on Facebook. Hey, lads, what's the best product for waterlogged lawn?
The sun.
And drainage.
Yeah, and drainage.
Ag pipe or, what is it called? The one that we sell?
Megaflow?
Megaflow. Unfortunately, if your lawn's waterlogged, you need to get rid of it. There's nothing you can put to maybe penetrate it into the... I mean, I don't know if a penetrant's going to get it deeper, but...
Yeah, I mean, it may. Core aeration, get some oxygen into the soil, but other than that, there's not really much, unfortunately, without proper removing and bringing stuff in type activities. Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult.
From Facebook, Munchin Edmund Chong casting couch, ? That's what the cleaning lady probably is telling her colleagues.
100% what she's telling them.
So it's definitely not black and not leathery enough for my likings, but
too stainy.
I'm sure it's been used for that plenty of times,
and
I'm sitting on it.
Paint me like one of your French girls.
Just keep getting that chick going, spit on that shit.
Spit on that thing, you get me?
My fucking thing is just...
I had 6 reels in a row today of that. If you haven't seen that reel, I don't know where you've been living. It's gone spastic this week.
David Giddens, this set looks like an 80s porn studio. Fucking hell.
We just need some moustaches and some fleecy tops.
We've got some serious questions from Instagram. Oh, what a good name. A good question. I'm going to go with that one first. Bearded Burns, if you could rename one of your products, which one would you rename and what would you change it to? This will be good for the competitors that are replicating a lot of our stuff. While you're thinking about it, I'll tell you an interesting thing. So
I've got the product. I just don't know what I'd rename it.
I'll say what I'm going to say. You tell me the product, then we'll try and come up with a name. So the product Money Shot was originally called Envy, and it was the only product that didn't fit the brand because it wasn't in line with the other product names. And the reason we called it Envy was because it made your lawn green, but it was also designed as a fuck you to the people or the person that screwed me over, which was the reason why I started Lawnhub. So we would do custom labeling days and would have like Matt's Envy and like you could get Clint's Trojan and that kind of thing. And so we had it at Envy, and then I had to change it because it didn't make sense. And I was like, this is definitely called Money Shot. I think another one. So what's your name? What's the one that you would like to change?
Got Laid.
Yep.
Because it's like got laid sold as when you get like lay your turf and all that sort of stuff. But it's probably NPK wise our best fertilizer chemically because it's so balanced. But I don't know what we would call it outside of Got Laid. Like,
so the one that came to my mind was, I think 3-Way at one point was potentially called Compilation. I think that was one of the names that I had written up.
Yeah.
Because it was a compilation of chemical of like had all the trace elements.
Trace elements, yeah.
So if it Got Laid, you'd probably, if I was going down the path of thinking of that, I'd be thinking it down the lines of Trojan. And you probably can't use, say, 4 Seasons because there is a product called 4 Seasons already, or All Seasons. I think it was 4 Seasons. So then I would go Google. I would Google image search. This is how my brain works. So I'd Google image search Trojan, and there's a Trojan Pleasure Pack. And then I would look at Jai Warner on Facebook. How many bogs now, Adam?
I'm almost at 3. Almost, yeah. Yeah, I was talking to him this morning during my second one.
During?
Yeah, like I was texting him. Yeah.
Yeah. 2's not bad.
Matt's had 4, I think. He was fucking on fire this morning, poor bloke.
I reckon I'm beating that. We won't say what Matt what's happened to Matt. That's Matt's private information. I can't think of another name off the top of my head. I've looked at some image searches. What else we got? This is definitely not something that probably is entertaining viewing. So, yeah. We'll have to come back to you on that. It's hard. There's not a lot of product names left available that can stay in line with what we're doing. Obviously, something like Bush. You could do something, maybe. But yeah, it's interesting. It's quite the suite of products is kind of all encompassing from a turf care standpoint, but also from a like a naming thing. You can't do much more than what we've got. Otherwise
going
it just
too
gets
far.
stupid, and some of the fucking things that people have come up with over the years. I think compilation is the last thing that I had, and I thought about maybe ATM.
Yeah.
So ATM could probably be something that we have, like the acronym covers like turf maintenance, like advanced turf maintenance.
Yeah.
And that's like a high-end product.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Go name your product that before we do.
Yeah.
And be original. What else we got here? Jai Warner, classic. And yeah, him and Mudge are obviously having a conversation on one of the platforms. Mudge is like not as many as Ervo. When is the golf day at Gawler? That's from Brenton Ellis. Is it October 21 or something?
Yeah, 26.
Yeah,
28.
we need to go.
I've got a.
I think that once this is over,
I've got my contact at the Black Dog. We've set up a meeting, so it would be over the phone. So, so they're happy. Everything that I've supplied so far, they're happy with, but they just want to talk through some other things, which is fine. So, yeah.
Oh, come on.
I have to get started on my lawn soon. Then that'll be here before we know it.
The lawn. Yeah, I don't have any. My lawn's fucked. We're using my lawn as before photos now.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just taking heaps of photos of it so that they can use it as a before photo. So it's pretty funny. Like, I am the ultimate before photo for a weight loss challenge, and then my lawn is the ultimate before photo for a reno. We've got some more questions. Shanevs, have you tried pigment usage during winter, and what are your thoughts on these products?
Yeah, so I don't know where it came from, but we've got some at Lawnhub HQ.
I bought some because I was going to decant it and make small ones similar to ones that you're seeing online at the moment. I did not follow the application rate, and my lawn I did it out the back, and it looked silly. But once it washed through a little bit, it actually looked all right. Yeah.
Because, like, pigment, if your lawn's already brown and yellow, there's no point. It has to already be green so it can hold the heat. That's the technology in it, is that the leaf holds the heat from the pigment.
Because it's darker.
Yeah, and it allows the lawn to stay greener for longer. And there are some studies to prove that it enhances soil temps, but I don't really... If it is, we're talking like 0.1%. Yep. And people will say, "Oh, it's an improvement."
Yeah, but is the juice worth the squeeze?
Yeah, so you got to be careful with it though, because if you go too far one way, it looks incredibly unnatural, which is what I had. But then once it's washed it in and because it looks stupid, it looks pretty good. My back lawn looks very nice. It helped cover up the dog piss stains, but those areas look a little unnatural because obviously they're dead already. So. Yeah, it's just really messy. Really messy. That's the only issue. One of the issues. But I do like it, as long as it's used within reason.
Can you please... So this is from Pat Mac 6450. I'm starting to fall off. I don't know if you noticed me yawning during him talking. It's not because of the lack of interest. I definitely thought I was good, and now I'm just like, no.
The sun's just...
I'm almost like, you know how we were saying before, like, oh, we might go down there for a little bit. I'm like, I don't need to go to this fucking thing.
You know what? When I was sitting...
Dylan's just said the lighting's starting to get a little bit overwhelming.
When I was sitting down answering emails and questions, I was thinking the exact same thing.
No, that won't go any further that way.
That won't go any further?
See if you close that, what the lighting's like. See if Dylan will tell me. This is definitely starting to head in a, what do you call it?
Well, what if we go...
OnlyFans direction? Yeah, because then you look like fucking... Oh, yeah. You've got a halo behind your head. Anyway, while he's working on that, I will find this next question for him, which is about humic and fulvic acid. So, PatMax6450, can you please explain the benefits, if any, of using humic and fulvic acid?
So, when used correctly, and it's... Humic and fulvic acid is that when they use correctly can be very beneficial to not only to the plant but to the soil. So it helps unlock locked up nutrients in the soil. So I suppose when it's a bit like your brain, you can do brain activities that essentially allow you to use more parts of your brain. When you use humic and fulvic acid in conjunction with a fertilizer maintenance program, what it does is it allows nutrients that's already in the soil to then become available to be taken up via the plant. But you need to do it in a way, you need to time your application that one, when you apply it, the nutrient becomes available, and then you need to time the application so that then it's okay. Now the plant's able to take up that nutrients. You can't just apply it and hope for the best. And a lot of the times it's all happening underneath the soil and we don't see it at all. And that's one of the hardest things when we did our humic and fulvic blend trials. We added stuff to it to make it physically look better, but then it also didn't mix well with other products. So, but I had a very good chat to someone today about a humic and fulvic and fish and kelp based. It's a granule.
No shit.
Yeah. So,
so like I guess I don't want to say it, but like Roots and Shoots GR.
Yeah,
like,
with
added.
And he said it didn't have trace elements in it, but it had some not microorganisms, but like there's another like a beneficial bacteria type.
Yep.
And yeah, he knew who we were and knew what we're about, and we were. Yeah, I won't say too much. Depends who's watching, but yeah, I've got all his details, and we're gonna maybe look down, just have a look, see what it's like. So he gave us a sample, but I wasn't sure if we'll be able to get it through the plane.
Why?
I don't know. Well, the lady that we had yesterday morning.
Yeah, but Matt just gets angry at people. You just got to fucking relax.
She was.
You got to build rapport.
She was.
You got to fight hate with love.
She wasn't having nothing.
Yeah. I've never had that problem. We just walk straight through security, and you guys are trying to have fights.
I didn't try to. Never planned it that way, you know.
Facebook, Lawn and Land Equipment Expo.
Hey, yeah, we met him today.
Yes, he said, "Good to meet you today, Adam. It was unfortunate Clint. Oh, Jesus, I can't even say my own name. Clint wasn't quite up to facing the day yet. It's really disappointing that I got that drunk last night that I lost today. It's a continuous battle for me with alcohol, and I didn't drink for 10 weeks, and then like I don't have to drink. It's not something that I need to do from a social standpoint to be able to communicate with people or whatever. I'm fine. It's just as soon as that fucking first drink touches my lips, it is on.
And to be fair, the weather was actually quite nice last night. Like it was good people.
Just talking shit and laughing.
We're actually drinking with some people that like we've been trying to get in front of for ages, and like they're drinking, you're drinking, you're hanging shit, they're hanging shit, and then it's like, well, actually, you know, like, oh yeah, no, and it was the benefits of sometimes of alcohol, and then obviously the not so good benefits of. You know.
Well, it's about moderation. The problem is alcohol, like scientifically, will make you want more because the feeling wears off, and then you drink more to get to the feeling again. So, yeah, I think that probably for me the biggest argument would be like some kind of mind-altering substance that's not alcohol, that's less harmful, or I could just sort my shit out. So, yes, it was unfortunate that I didn't get to meet you today.
Massive beard, cracker beard.
I live and learn. Well, I don't learn much. No. I learn a little bit. What else we got here? We talked about your poo.
Mm-hmm.
I think Pat, who asked about the humic fulvic, also said, P.S. bucket hats for summer would be skits. So, yeah, that's not too hard to make.
No. Well, I got the beanies in and we've sold like 10.
No one wants them?
No one wants them. So I put them in the weekly cut.
Did they didn't sell any either?
Sold a couple.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Mm.
Everyone's always outraged about shit, and then you do something about it, and they're like, I didn't really... it was actually a good example. People talk a lot, and the actions speak louder than words kind of thing. When we first opened our first irrigation shop, a lot of people were like, fucking, yeah, you open a shop, man, we'll support you. Like, fucking good on you. Like, sticking it to the fucking man. We were sticking it to the man. And then you open the shop, and you're like, hey, man, fucking... sorry, I got to stop swearing, don't I? People watching this with their kids. What was I saw a comment somewhere the other day. It was like, every time this camera goes to Clint, I have to turn the volume down. So just listen for your intelligent answers, and then me being an idiot. And then you ring him, and they're like, "Oh, I know I said that, man, but I just, I've been buying from this guy for a long time, and he's been good." And I'm like, "Oh, good. I'm glad we fucking went out on a limb and opened an irrigation shop with." And so it's the same with the product. You get all these people like, "Yeah, you should have this," and it's quite often the vocal minority over the silent majority that they're the loudest voice, but it's not actually representative of what people want.
And it's always going to be like that.
But those beanies don't have dates on them, right?
No, and they're actually very nice beanies. So one of the guys that did get them was like this is the cracker beanies. So
they're pretty. To wear that beanie, you have to be pretty comfortable wearing that beanie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's not subtle.
No, I wore my other one away for the long weekend when I was on the jetty. Got a few head turns, but as does most of the clothing that we have anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh man, I want to get my an orange jump suit.
Yeah, that God, imagine you walking around here with that on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you walk in here wearing an orange jumpsuit, everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
But 100%, everyone knows who you are.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it'll work.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. Like, or even just to have a yellow suit jacket, and just like how they had the red jacket and the green jacket, have an orange jacket.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And just walk into the rooms, and they're like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? Because there's enough of that already.
Yep.
So, yeah. I was going to ask you a bunch of questions about. So, I wanted to talk to you a bit about winter lawn care today.
Yep.
But also beforehand, you obviously walked around the trade show today. Was there anything new or exciting in it, I guess, outside of that product that you saw? Like, obviously, MoMaster had their stuff there.
Yeah, Matt actually smashed his ankle on the edger.
Yeah.
His ankle's...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd say he's in about 7.5 out of 10 pain.
Really?
Yeah, he's in big trouble.
What happened?
Like he was just walking around the mower and he just went... Yeah.
How can you, in that much distance, like obviously a step... or whatever it is.
I don't know if it was like went to like sort of I don't know. I was looking at the Scarify.
Jesus Christ!
This machine was massive too, by the way. The Scarify. It's absolute weapon.
Yeah.
So sorry. I thought that was funny.
It's annoying, especially if he's actually done damage.
Yeah. Well, I said to him, "He's still playing golf tomorrow." Oh yeah.
I forgot about that. Oh, you just got to get a cart if you have to.
Yeah, but his stance on carts at golf courses.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, I can go either way. I don't care.
Either fucking shut up.
Go in the car or just walk. I don't care.
Yeah. I think he thinks that it makes him one with the grass and the course, and it's like, how like Avatar, they like just kind of like hook onto a plant and fucking.
Yep.
I think he just hooks into the soil and just. It's worth at least 2 shots.
Anything new? No.
Same old.
Like there was obviously the new turf varieties there. So Primo Zorgia, that was a nice fine. That's very fine. That was finer than Cooch. They had the Iron Cutter hybrid Bermuda there. Look, and to be honest, they all look the same. All those hybrid Cooches. Like the only thing that is going to be different is if, you know, how quickly that they thatch up and how quickly that they just turn dormant, or if they hold their winter colour. You know, that's sometimes the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. So, like Santa Ana, for example, I know how to look after that. I know how to treat it. I know I can be fucking mean to it and not water it and give it an an ounce of love and it comes straight back.
And I think Max was a bit like that.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, just get Santa Ana.
Yeah. Well, if you've got sunlight and you've got half decent love, like you got half decent
like a care regime.
Interest in lawn, Santa Ana. Yeah. Like Granger's Santa Ana. Most of the golf courses in Adelaide, premier golf courses are Santa Ana because it's just... Well,
where was someone... They were putting in Tiftuff, I heard recently.
They're putting Tiftuff in at Lyndoch.
Was it Hindmarsh?
Actually, yeah, Matt did say they were putting Cooch in.
Yeah. I think they were putting Tiftuff in.
Which baffles me because it needs to be rye to hold all the events that they want.
Unless they oversee it.
Yeah, which Matt said that they were going to do, but then it's like we may as well just start with rye. We may as well just start with a stitched rye from down in Melbourne and cart it up. But obviously people smarter than you making big decisions. Yeah, that's right.
You don't have a turf qualification.
No, that is right. And you know what? I didn't feel out of place at all.
You were able to talk to the adults?
Yeah, I was able to talk to the adults.
You were in a room full of salespeople, mate. None of them have fucking turf qualifications.
Yeah.
That's not fair. They do. So there's nothing in here. There's no more questions from...
I was just trying to... There's a lot of new type of machinery. So Ventrac was there. They're obviously massive in the States. If you watch a lot of YouTube lawn people from the States, you'll know that the guy called Ryan Knorr, he has a Ventrac system going on at his house or his property, his acreage. It was good to finally see those types of machines. So Ventrac's pretty much like a small tractor, and it has an attachment at the front, and then you can go between like top scrapers, cylinder mowers, slashers.
As in more suitable for...
like open spaces.
Bigger lawn areas?
Yeah, and like you mow a fairway. Like you could mow a fairway with the Ventrac, and then you could also go do your slashing. You could do your top making. Top making, is that what it is when you...
Top dressing?
No, the other, when you come in and you try and level out an area. With the, like, and anyway.
Leveling an area?
Sort of like a bobcat, but anyway, again, that was nice to see them. But in terms of technology, Syngenta were launching their new product, their 2 new products. I don't know if they were launching them or if they'd already been launched, but that was what they were main talking about. There's a few other stands there, but like it's very buddy some stands like that have obviously teamed up next to each other, and like you go and read their things and they look over and they go, oh, there's someone there, and then they walk over, and by then I'm like, oh, if you don't want to talk to me, man, that's fine. Like that's completely fine.
It's quite grueling standing in there for however long, and I know Mudge has been like, we should have more Lawnhub exposure here, but then you got to stand at the fucking stand for 2 days, and it's funny because they you look at the Hunter stand, like all of those guys that we saw yesterday would do this. They go to those for the trade shows all around the world and around the country. They've got the Hort connections, and then they've got like Ben was going to a fucking potato growers thing in Adelaide, and you got to talk. It's the same fucking questions. It's the same. Yep, this is a new product, and I don't know if I could do it.
I think I could do it for maybe a day. Yeah, especially like as someone coming in and sort of.
Oh, if you're excited about your product and that, but like, I don't know. I've done it before, and it's the same. You just basically AI could take control of the answers and you just go, well, like say for Water Pro, so you print this off and you fill it out, and okay, so how do you test the water? Well, you do this, and it's just again. But I think some of the guys, they just love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the people that were willing to talk like that, so there was a list of people that I wanted to go and see, and then there was people there I had no idea were there.
Did you get to see the people that you wanted to see?
Yeah, so everyone I wanted to see, and spoke to everyone that I wanted to speak to, and then the people that I didn't know were there, but I was interested in speaking to. Yeah, they gave me their time. Knew who we were, and which is exciting. One of them had no idea who we are, and we buy a lot of their. So they're the actual manufacturers, and we purchased a lot of their product through a supplier.
Yep.
So they distribute to the supplier, and then we purchase that from them. And I said, we bought about this much, and he goes,
yeah.
And he's like, "What? Sorry," and it like really got him. Like,
what do you do with it?
Yeah,
we eat it.
And then so we had that conversation, and he's like, "Yeah, right, okay, yeah," and it was sort of like made sort of sense why
they had started buying so much because we are buying so much.
So that was interesting, and and he talked about some technology in his products and stuff like that, and I mean. There was a insecticide company there, and I can't remember the product company's name. It's upstairs, but he's got this product that basically does everything that 5 Star and like 2 other products that we sell
all combined.
All combined as a concentrate, and it retails for like $380 for a 1 litre bottle, but it treats 2.5 hectares, and it's like that product would just suit so many so many homeowners. They wouldn't have to carry so many different products. Yeah. But the price point, unfortunately,
we'd have to make 100 mil.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, it did like all your 5 stars. So bifenthrin, so spiders, ants, barrier sprays. Like stuff in turf, like adult.
Was it scheduled in a way that we wouldn't be able to sell it?
No. He said it's
anyone can use it.
Anyone can use it, but then it also took care of mole crickets, which 5 Star doesn't. Bifenthrin, cooch mite, like.
So, is it constant? So it's $380 for 2,500 square meters.
2.5 hectares. So what's that?
25,000 square meters.
So super.
So what's the square meter cost?
Square meter cost would be the cheapest product.
380 divided by 25. Oh, you dickhead. Even my calculator's hungover. I definitely, so 1 cent. Yeah. 1.5 cents. So to make something that does then 1,000 squares, so like a, NSFW size, times that by 1,000 is $15.20. So that is really cheap.
Yeah. So like I said, per application would be so cheap, but that initial. And he was talking about like it has a longer shelf life because of the concentrate and the polymers that they use in it and stuff like that, and how it interacts with the insect versus, I suppose. And he is actually quite respectful towards his competitors, like. Because you can get so caught up with it and say, this product fucking shits all over this product. But he was real respectful because he's like, my polymers are made of this, it lasts longer because it's able to do this. But my pricing is 5x what my competitors are. And so it was just unfortunate. It was so much, but
yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, you don't have to buy a litre. It's just that's all he has at the moment, right?
Yeah, or 20 litres.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to knock that over.
No, he sells to ag, like sells to distributors that sell to ag, and he also homeowners. He doesn't sell to homeowners. He sells to distributors that sell it, on sell it, but yeah.
That's interesting. So overall thoughts, like
definitely worth it for us this year, absolutely. And the more Lawnhub grows, the more sort of relevance that will start to begin, I believe, at these sorts of events. And yeah, definitely turning the needle a bit. But
it's interesting to get some context on the size of the business. I think that was probably something I took from a few conversations yesterday, that Lawnhub is one of the larger direct-to-consumer, if not the largest direct-to-consumer fertilizer brand in the country, maybe. And when you kind of you bump into the guys that are running similar businesses, and yeah, I don't think anyone's turning over what we're turning over. But even from a WaterPro standpoint, to have some conversations yesterday about how big WaterPro's business is for some of these manufacturers.
Yeah,
you don't really know, and for a long time they don't tell you. They keep it all like hush hush. And I always tell my customers where they rank. Like, you're our biggest customer, you're our third biggest customer. You make up this much percentage of it. I don't care. Like, I think it's good for them to know. It makes them feel important and special and part of it. And so it's good to have that from one specifically yesterday. And then he was just like, "Yeah, you're our biggest client." He goes, "I don't know why they don't tell you that. It's important. You should know it."
Secret men's business.
Secret non-binary business.
Yes.
All right. We got some more questions. Oh, I feel like shit. So, Paul Hardy on a comment on Australia's illegal meat houses. Wonder how long before illicit substances will be shipped around Australia in fertilizer containers. Wood foil, sniffer dogs, haha, guess grass hub, ice hub, tobacco hub. I'm just kidding, but I got you thinking.
That's funny.
Mr. Mumble PSN on Lawnhub Live 18. WaterPro irrigation help is great. Not enjoying the blue R-Vans though. They just keep breaking. Yeah, the blue R-Vans have been a really funny product.
I made that joke last night as well.
What? About how shit
blue R-Vans, blue R-Vans.
Yeah, they brought them out, and they were shit, and I think they knew they were shit, and then they retooled them and fixed them, and then said they were fine. And a lot of times with manufacturers, you'll go, "Oh yeah, this product's shit. It's fucked. We have heaps of them coming back." They're like, "That's odd. Like, you're the only people that have ever had a problem with this." And I get that with heaps of things that I say. They're like, "No one else has a problem with this. Everyone else manages to navigate our rules without being upset." And then they forget that there's a thing called the fucking internet, and everyone's just like on forums going shit.
I must admit, I haven't had any issues with the blue R-Vans.
I haven't either, but I know there is.
Yeah, I know Matt has trouble.
It would be unfair to say that there is not a known issue. They had a known issue. They fixed it, but I think, I don't know, maybe there's some old stock somewhere that's getting put into the market.
Still in circulation,
Also, is it unusual for Sir Walter not to go into dormancy through winter? Location is Canberra.
Absolutely not. I know I sometimes bang on about it like a broken record, especially in the weekly cut, but if you do all your prep going into winter, you like, my front lawn hasn't experienced dormancy. It's just not growing. The colour is still popping. Like, it's the best it's ever looked in winter, like when it's just been cooched. But if you do all that prep, like I talk about that curve of your application timing of premature, that curve of your colour losses, and yeah, I mean, that's probably, if you've done all your work, and you might be experiencing a bit different. You might have a microclimate in your backyard or something as well, which is highly possible. But yeah, if you do all your preparation, there's no reason to as to why it wouldn't go into dormancy.
Yeah, my front lawn looks good. My back lawn's shit. Christian Ritchie, what's brought this on? I'm guessing they're live on a Thursday, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. Because I'm playing golf.
Jonesy's playing golf tomorrow.
Yeah, and we're flying back tomorrow, so.
Brad Hallow on YouTube. Lawn lovers. Stumbled across you guys being live. Where can I physically buy a cup and flagpole for a putting green in Adelaide? All the golf shops just seem to supply the playing goods. Cheers. Correct. Golf stores are to supply the golfers. And if you want to buy products that are designed for golf courses, you want to deal with companies like David Golf.
They're here this week.
That would probably be my immediate for a flag.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get a proper, like a USGA spec conforming golf cup, you're going to need a tool.
Yeah,
to cut it properly. If, for example, I've just got a 100mm PVC.
It's pretty big, not 90.
Maybe it's not. Maybe a 90.
A golf hole is probably closer to 90mm hole.
Whatever it is, let me just check. I'll just
have a nap while he's doing that.
Golf.
God, I'm either drunk or hungover on these podcasts.
Golf hole size.
Do you think the podcast's better when I'm sober? It's 4:33 here, and I'm like, I probably could go to sleep. And I've been sleeping all day.
Yeah, so it's 10.37 centimeters, so 100mm. Yeah.
Yeah, when I say so, 100mm pipe, stormwater or DWV is bigger than 100mm. They're about 135, 140. The actual fitting, it's called 100mm, but it's not.
Then what have I got? Because I was going to say is I bought a fitting, like a PVC fitting, and then I also bought off of eBay a golf cup, and I shaved the side off so I could make, because the ones off eBay are only like this deep, but I wanted mine deeper, so I used the fitting. Or maybe it was just PVC and I cut it down. Anyway, I fit it so then I could have the flag holder in, so that it slides in perfectly and then the flag goes in. I know that's a terrible description and I've probably given no hope.
No, that makes sense to me. If I understood it, then most people should.
Yeah.
It would be cool if you could even maybe just post a photo of that, or we could do a video on how to make your own cup.
Yeah.
If you don't want to buy one.
Yeah, because like the ones off eBay are like $15. The pole is not very good, but it's a pole. Unless, again, if you wanted to go proper, you'd have to buy a flag pole and a cup, and you're probably looking at about and if you buy a flag, like the Lawnhub flag, for example, you're probably still going to be about $200.
And the cup, the hole cutter, that'd have to be hundreds, if not thousands.
You can, if you can find, there's a secondhand golf, like it's pretty much like Gumtree on internet. I don't know what it's called, but they do mowers, golf equipment, sprinklers, cable, there's pretty much just secondhand golf gear. If you can get on there, and sometimes you can get the old school the hole cutters where it's all mechanical driven. You got to do it by your hand, and then there's like a lever and it pulls it out. Like, if you can get one of them for say $50, $100, like it's still going to do the job. Otherwise, I just indent it and then cut it out with a sharp knife and then wiggle it out, and it eventually it's a bit messy, but then after about a week in the growing season, it's all grown over again, and you just cut it with scissors, the whole.
Keep the sides trimmed.
Yeah. It's not perfect, but it'll do if you didn't want to pay the big bucks for.
So there's your answer. Depends how much money you're willing to commit to.
You want to spend your money's not a problem? David Golf. Yep. You'll get everything from a hole cutter to everything.
Yep. It would also potentially be worth thinking about the I'll read what I was laughing at in a sec. Maybe going to local golf courses and just seeing if they had any old ones that they were looking to get rid of that you could pay cash for, or buy off of them as they upgrade. They might get rid of them. I know with mowers that was a thing where they'd sell their Toro Flex, whatever they're called, for cash. A lot of times they've been fully depreciated, and that kind of buys beers, sausages, whatever the fuck they need. What I was laughing at is Adam Mudge just wrote, get a drink, Clint, grab a CC can. Okay. Josie said a Coca-Cola. Oh, gosh. I'm assuming you don't want one.
No. Have you got a cup?
I don't care about that.
Otherwise, that.
We're not on TikTok.
What's that red phone then?
It's just recording.
Oh, okay.
So Dylan can add sound to it.
Ah, nice.
Oh, come on, Clint. Oh, I make noises of a fucking 60-year-old. So my theory is, if I drink a moderate amount of alcohol today,
it just gets you to the.
I'll feel okay, and then I'll stop tomorrow. And I know that sounds like something an alcoholic would say.
That's exactly what an alcoholic would say.
But it makes sense. And anyone who's had... So imagine yesterday I drank 400 as the number. And a normal drinking session for an adult human is 60, maybe.
Yeah.
Like if you're a drinker, you may be 150, 200. Today, you have, because I'm so shaky and shit, like the alcoholics theory, I have to then today drink maybe 60. So then tomorrow is like, because I can't function. Like I'll have to go to sleep if I don't have a drink.
That's all right.
Here we go.
Here we go.
To quote the famous Daryl Braithwaite, I'll go riding on the horses. Yeah. So, Josie also said, bit warm up there, guys. Got the pins out. Bring some of it home. I think it's 24 today.
Yeah, we had a cool breeze coming through our room. We had the door open because there was a lot of stomach passings of wind. So we had to open up. That's why I've got my jumper on.
Evo just messaged me and said that it's Santa Ana at Hindmarsh or Cooper's, not Tiftuff.
Sorry.
Sure, someone was talking about putting Tiftuff in somewhere at our open spaces event or something. But,
well, I mean, it's definitely going in at Lindog. I don't know.
That's what it was. Sorry. Yeah.
Ask Matt how his ankle is.
How's your ankle, Matt?
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably a cankle now, isn't it?
It was, yeah. From where I was laying down, where I was sitting, I looked over, I was like, yep.
What Jonesy probably should clarify is that they weren't lying in the same bed. We are sharing rooms. So me and Mudge have got a room with 2 queen-size beds, double beds. It's the cheapest and closest accommodation that Matt could organise, and it works out really well. So tip for anyone that is going to one of these kind of conferences, if you are going to go out and punch the cans, excuse me, staying at accommodation that is walking distance from the venue works really well. So if we went downstairs right now to the Squire pub or whatever it's called, what time's our thing? Tonight 6.
6 to 8.
Where is it?
Matt says
here.
Yeah, Matt says just across the road.
That I forgot what I was saying.
You tip.
Yeah, so if you stay close by, you can kind of come back to the room easily. You're not catching Ubers in and out. We looked at staying at an Airbnb, but then we would have had to catch, like you have to plan to go to the show, right? Whereas at the moment, you go to the Trade Expo in the morning, you could go back to your room for lunch, or you have room in your lunch, fucking, you know what I mean? Go back to your room for a sleep. Or you could, split up and go down one at a time. You don't have to wait for everyone. So it's worked out really well. We're at the Ridges, which is probably the best from a location standpoint.
Absolutely.
Like it's literally attached to the...
Yeah, if you go down to one of the levels, you can walk straight into the expo. Because that's where me and Matt went this morning, and you said you guys were waiting out front, so we then got back in.
We don't know.
That's
the promenade or whatever, M or P.
Yeah, P. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a sauna here as well. Do you know that?
There's a sauna here?
Yeah.
I assume that probably makes sense, but I hadn't thought about it.
Maybe thought... I probably should have mentioned that earlier.
I could have gone and sweated it out.
Yeah.
Would have been a good idea.
We would have had a nap in there as well. The lady would have been knocking on the door and you'd be like...
You're filming myself in the sauna.
Just fucking leave me.
Did we talk about winter?
Oh, winter, yeah. I did actually a article in the Weekly Cut last week about winter because I had so many emails and comments and messages last week about winter and what I can do during winter to make my lawn greener and healthier. And unfortunately, the reality is, and like we spoke about before, unless you've done your prep prior, there's not a whole lot that we can be doing. If you've still got green on your leaf, you can still be applying liquids as normal. I still think we should still be applying roots and shoots with wet every 6 to 8 weeks during winter because it has been very dry in a lot of parts of Australia, especially in South Australia. Like we've only got our second rain event yesterday in the last 2 or 3 months. It's been stupid. And then little things like, and this is important, if things are happening in straight lines, nothing in nature happens in a straight line. So, for example...
This is to quote the Japanese garden designer from the Melbourne International Flower and Garden Show.
Yeah.
He was like, there's no straight lines.
Yeah.
Nothing's perfect.
No. So, if you've got, like, say, a foot by the length of your house and it's like not looking too good, you got to think to yourself, okay, why? Oh, it's the shade from the roof because the sun's in a different position during winter. Like, those areas, unfortunately, you can't do much with. And we were talking with Lenny today about it, like the amount of stuff that he's seeing on OzLF at the moment where people are like, oh, that's fungus. You need to apply this, you need to apply that. And the amount of people jumping on, that sell product like us. But we're a big believer in, like, we've had people come in the shop this week on Monday and Tuesday. Monday, sorry. I think I've got disease, and it's not. No, it's just a shade. Yeah. Like it's legitimately just a shade. Putting a fungicide down is not going to do anything. Yeah. Like, just need to wait. Unfortunately, just need to wait. Or if it's next to a garden bed, potentially extend it. So then you've got lawn coverage. Yeah.
I cut my garden back to make sure it doesn't impact my lawn.
Yeah, and that's actually what I've done out the front of my house. I had an area underneath my sprinkler where the bushes grew over, and it actually died back in summer because it was getting no sun.
Yeah,
I've cut it back, and because it's next to the concrete and the mulch, it holds a bit of heat there, so it's actually recovered. But nothing happens in straight lines. Just if it doesn't look right, just all it takes is a step back and go, oh, it's the roof. Oh, it's the fence. Oh, it's the tree. It wasn't shading that part in summer because, like I said, the sun's in a different position during winter. So
when you say nothing happens in straight lines, like disease doesn't spread in a straight line. No, so if there's a straight line issue, it's got to be connected
to something man-made, or something structurally,
or woman-made these days, right?
Sorry,
you're gonna be such a misogynistic
how
piece
fucking
of shit.
dare me?
Julia Gillard will be all up in your groove.
Remember when she fell over, and is it in China she fell over? It was in New Zealand where she went just straight down and got her shoes caught in the grass. Yeah,
no,
that was a good meme.
Glenn Gibbo, are you guys in Brisbane? Yes, we are, sir.
Yes,
we are sitting in Brisbane right now. Jonesy saw your mate and mine, Len Dog. They calling him Len Dog yet?
Yeah,
that hasn't caught on. So yes, we are. That's the answer. Rapidly deteriorating.
But that was the main thing that we got out of that was straight lines, and don't always go, because fungicides used incorrectly will actually damage your soil profile. It can do opposite things.
Maybe that's what happened. Was it Monster?
Monster.
Is that a fungicide?
I think so.
Because I reckon I sprayed that all over my shit at home when I made my cocktail on the hedge.
Nah, that was bumper, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Propiconazole.
That hedge is still just like excuse me, alive but not kicking it.
Propiconazole, and let's be honest, you probably didn't do it at the recommended label rate.
And I sprayed stuff on.
Yeah.
I think I sprayed at the time bow and arrow on the hedge.
Because propiconazole has growth regulator effects as well.
Yeah.
You just might
for 3 years.
But what I'm saying is, so your concoction might have elevated that even more.
What's crazy? I probably just invented a PGR that lasts forever.
Yeah.
And it's just stuck there.
Yeah, potentially. It wouldn't surprise me. Like we were talking last week about that stuff you put in the soil for 4 or 5 years, whatever it was.
The one from
yes, Red Cap.
Heinegger.
Yeah.
What was the Bantox?
Bantox.
Yeah. So that Bantox product, when I used to sell it, was a lot more potent, and I think they had to rein it back because of it was just too strong. Renders soil dormant for 7 years or something.
There's tree killers that do that as well, and they're available here in Australia. But misuse of that, you haven't. Yeah.
Dig out the whole backyard.
Oh, terrible.
It's the kind of thing you might use to remind someone they haven't paid their landscaping bill.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
You're not going to get it then. Well, if there's nothing else to talk about, we can probably wrap this bad boy up.
So Clint can have a nap.
I don't know. Seems like a waste. Fly up here for one night and then just sleep. It's not what it's meant to be.
Evo was saying there's an ex-golf around the corner as well.
Yeah. That would have been good to know. If that's another good thing, I would have gone and done something fun like that if I wasn't such a fucking hungover piece of shit. But, yeah, I don't think so. I think I definitely have to go to this event at 6. If that's 6 to 8 and then go to sleep. I want to go look at irrigation shops up here. At some point, I was thinking about going and doing that tomorrow if I'm feeling car ready.
You shouldn't you?
Yeah, if I don't drink much today, I'll be right. And like, if I can drink less than 10 drinks, I'll be right. Like, I was thinking about it this morning. I reckon I don't know what the number would be. 30 standard drinks, maybe more, maybe 40.
Oh, I think more than that. Yeah, unfortunately.
Because what's a bottle of wine?
8 or 9.
And then I had those 2 beers at lunch. That was 3.6. So that's what, 13, 12.
Didn't you have 2 bottles of wine?
No, one.
No.
And then I had a beer there that was 7%. So that's another 2. So it's 15. That was before we went to dinner.
Yeah.
I'd had 15 or 20 standard drinks before dinner.
Yeah.
And then we had those beers at dinner. Then we had espresso martinis.
Oh, we had everything.
Scotch. Maybe I didn't have 40, but I would have touched 30.
Yeah, but the double bourbons didn't help either.
Where did we have that?
At that little pub thing.
How many did we have? I just kept getting handed drinks.
I don't know. You and Mudge were knocking them off.
I did not physically stand up and go get a drink. I was like, Mudge just handed me drinks. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm an idiot.
I was going to say, you live and you learn, but you live.
I'm learning. Today I'm not drinking. I didn't drink at lunch.
All
right. Well, I'll just quickly check Instagram, make sure there's no other questions.
Yeah, Lindock Main Oval only. That must mean the other one's going to be
Mudge just said he's already napped all day. Hair of the dog, let's do it. Yeah, I have to try and get a couple down quickly. It's pretty crazy that alcohol is so poisonous, and yet it's so widely consumed. Nat Extreme Watts. This chemical to remind people to pay their bills sounds handy. It's called Bantox. You should be able to buy it from places that sell like landscape supplies.
And it's on eBay.
And on eBay, but this is not financial advice.
No, definitely not.
I would say if you have a paved area that you are trying to stop weeds from growing in, you could dust this into the soil before you pave, onto the sand, and then it would stop weeds from growing through. I think that's traditionally what it's used for.
Yeah.
You've got to be really careful that it doesn't go anywhere else, because you won't. Your soil becomes
terrible,
barren. I was trying to think of a funny joke, but yeah,
bold.
That was barren. That was going to be like this person.
Bold as my fucking head.
I think that's it. That was the only last question. Thanks for managing this deal from wherever you are. He's probably sitting at home.
Yeah, he's been working from home for the last 2 days and hasn't told anyone. Hey, you're right, Dill.
Fuck. All right, I got to go do some work. All right, so Dylan, can you end this?
Yeah. Is that a thing?
Or do I have to stand up? We'll just sit here like we're on the news.
Yeah, we pretend that we're...
Bye.
Bye. Enjoy.